Welcome back to Y&R For Life, where we talk about all things Y&R related. We talk about what's going on, what do I think's going to happen, my predictions. Hey, we even talk about fashion on this show because I'm a big time fashion girl, so we got to spill the tea about that from time to time. If you're new to this channel, my question is, what took you so long to get here? And if you are returning, what's up? Long time no see. Well, thankfully, this week has been much better than last week's because last week's episodes were womp, boring. I had to like pull out the purple blanket because it was so sleepy. It just wasn't up to par. So thankfully, we had a few of the host of characters, the ones that make us laugh. We had them this week. So not all, but some. Okay, so we're going to go through a few little disclaimers first, and then we'll get into it. Okay, if you don't want to know what's going on, you'll kind of want to get caught up on your own. This might not be what you want to see or hear, but I am so grateful that you are here. And if I happen to, not mention something, it's because I either plumb forgot or it just really wasn't newsworthy. It's the nature of the beast. That's how it goes. And finally, if you like what you see, you like what you hear, it would be so kind if you hit that like and subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that bell notification so that you don't miss a single video that I post here on Y&R For Life. Everything's always off the cuff, We're just going to get into it. Again, I'm not going to remember everything, but the kind of stuff that you really need to know, we're going to get into that. So who should we talk about first? I'm just trying to think. Was there any real scene fillers? Maybe one. We can get that one out of the way. Where basically Summer went over to Daniel's new condo, and he had, quite frankly, that green couch, because I feel like green was like part of that week with the outfits and stuff. That green, it was like a velvet velour couch. He just magically appeared in his place. That was nice. I wonder if Wayfair has that. I'm not being sponsored by Wayfair, but if I was, that's a really nice couch. Just saying. And so Summer brought him like a little housewarming gift. Heather ends up showing up, and Summer's like, okay. Heather and Lucy talked about putting up some sort of mural in her bedroom, and Daniel was like, what mural are we talking about? Blah. Again, total scene filler. Didn't need to be there, but I guess it's the whole, lead up to, ideally, I don't want it, but Heather and Daniel, getting together. I don't know if this is going to happen. This is my prediction that, and I've said it before, that Heather and Daniel will end up with some sort of fleeting moment, albeit it'll probably start off with a kiss. She'll probably lead in for the kiss in my head, and they will end up dipsy doodling. It's going to break Lily's heart because she'll either walk in or he will confess, or to me, it's almost inevitable. This is what's going to happen because Heather is pushing her way through to Daniel's, little heart. But, and Summer's seeing this, but Summer, girlfriend to girlfriend, because Sally's my girl. I have to talk to her. But Summer, girlfriend to girlfriend. Isn't this the same thing you're doing with Chance? Just saying. You have your little hot feelings for Do Good or Chance, and we'll get into talking about him, but Do Good or Chance. And meanwhile, you're there spying your brother as it pertains to Heather. So I wouldn't say anything if I were you. I would just zip it and move on. Just saying. Okay, so we will cast that aside and move on. Thankfully, she looked a trifle better. They could have amped up Summer's makeup a little bit to give her a little bit of a glow, but much better than that tuxedo dress she was wearing last week. Oh, what a disaster. So, thank you, stylist. You did a little bit better this week where Summer was concerned. If you can do more, I'd be ever so grateful. All right. So, who should we go to next? Okay, let's go to Victor Newman. Victor Newman. And his whole, I'm back in the saddle. I'm back, baby. Okay, so we know that he fired Slimy Nate and he's out of there. But see, Slimy Nate, again, should I continue to call him Slimy Nate? I think so. I mean, why ruin a good thing? Okay, so Slimy Nate is kind of like, how should I say? He is kind of opening Victoria's eyes to what's going on. Again, I say, I don't believe that he had any ill intentions where Victor was concerned. This whole, I have it on like my phone, like the fact that you called the loony bin, that means that, Victor, come on, you're a sensible guy. Does that even, that somehow that tars and feathers this guy? Again, Slimy Nate, it is what it is. But he is kind of opening Victoria's eyes to the fact that if something happens to your father, which it's almost inevitable because he's getting older, if you don't do something or stay with the company, then the keys to the kingdom are going to go to Adam, which I had to laugh because he's there talking about Nicholas and he's like, you think he's going to leave it to Nicholas, who's always got one foot in and one foot out? Sorry, Nick. It's true. You are forever like a ping pong match when it comes to Newman. 1 minute you're there, the next minute you're not, and then, oh no, I belong there. Next thing, I'm not doing it. And just, you're all over the map. So Nate's kind of right. He's kind of correct where that's concerned. But Adam, who this guy had me cracking up all week, the fact that he would end up getting the keys to the kingdom, in my head, and so what? So what? Big deal. Yes, Adam's a bit of a hothead. He kind of like acts now and then thinks about, the error of his ways after. However, like he said at some point during the week, why would he mess up, ideally his chance for his child? Like, because his child, Connor, is, a descendant and it's ideally his birthright as well. So, I don't know. Again, it is what it is. So now Victoria's listening to Nathaniel about this. Meanwhile, Victor, back to Victor, he is just, again, he is laying out the commands. I haven't heard him doing any sort of business deals or anything because he's been like every day, this person's got to go, that person's got to go. And he hasn't done anything substantial. Just saying. So his latest thing is, okay, Nick is going to take over the position that Nate held. The position that Nate held. If Victoria doesn't, if she doesn't come back and take it. Bottom line, Victor is like, you all can go. If you're not in, all of you, then basically there's the door. Get out. And Nick is like, well, I'm all in, Dad. And then they're talking about they're, they're talking about Adam, and Adam's like right there, and Adam's like, I'm right here, don't you? Like, I'm right here. Boy, had me hollering. During the beginning of the week, Adam's talking to Nate, him fully like fresh on the unemployment line. And, oh, what's up there, boss? Oh, that's right. You're not my boss anymore. I don't have to pick up your dry cleaning. I don't have to do anything for you. This is great. And, Nathaniel's like, it's great because you're the same self-serving bastard that you've always been. And I'm like, the two of them are like a full out sparring match. Like, boom, 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 boom. It was great. So, yeah, Victor is cleaning house. And basically, as I said, he's saying if you all aren't in, then you're out. Simple as that. Then he commissions Nick and Adam to go and see Victoria and convince her to come back to Newman, come into the fold. And, well, not that she really left, but she was like, Daddy, I don't know if I can forgive you for this. And Victor was all too quick to talk about her judgment, her lack of judgment, and because look at your relationships. You had JT, you had Ashlyn Locke. Who else did she mention? Nate. And just poor judgment. Daddy, don't bring up my past relationships. They have nothing to do with anything. Daddy. Oh, Daddy, you don't have any confidence in me. No faith in me, Daddy. Like, oh God, Victoria. Like, are you in the company or you're not? Pick one. Okay, so I digress. That's been Victor. And again, total cleaning house. So I feel like I want to jump over the next one to go back to. So we're gonna jump over the whole Nikki pseudo kidnapping story, and we'll come back to that because that is a piece of funny business. Okay, so as we know, do-gooder Chance. Do-gooder Chance got shot. Well, I don't know anybody who has been shot, but the fact that this guy got out of the hospital real fast, like, beyond me. He was practically like in a coma to begin with last week. And then now he's like, I'm at the coffee shop just with a little sling on. Whee! Anyway, so as we know that last week he basically told his mother, Nina, that he's rethinking the whole being chief of police. Newsflash, Chance, you should have never taken that position to begin with. You're not chief of police material. Like, what? If you're going out on the field to potentially get yourself shot, you have no concept of what the chief of police, like, what he's. Paul, where are you, Paul? Can you, like, wait a minute, didn't you refer him, like, for the chief position? Oh boy, what a hot mess. So he, as we know, he was chief of police for, I don't know, 2 minutes. I'm shortening it. I think last week I said 5. Oh, it gets better. So he has come back to the coffee house. He's seen Sharon, and he's all in his glee, and Summer, she was not far behind. Oh, I didn't know you're at the hospital. Anyway, so again, he goes over the fact that he's rethinking being chief of police that, he just basically wants to like change careers. Yeah, I think you should. So, the latter part of the week, Jill, she, she meets with Chance. They're at the coffee house, and Nina comes in, and they're sitting back going on about, was it the coffee house or was it society? Kind of doesn't matter. I feel like it was the coffee house. But anyway, she's like, oh, Chance. Oh, Chance. I think you should come and work with me. Whoa! Jill, even Chance says, I have no experience. You got that right. What? So Jill's like, you don't need experience. This is your birthright, and you've been around enough, enough people to know like how the business world works, and like it's always been a part of your life. You just may not have done any of it, but like you've heard it. Okay, so so this is how it works, Jill. So just because you overhear something, it's now in your brain that this is like a fallback. Get out of town with that mess. No credentials. I mean, then again, he really had no credentials to be a chief of police or a detective. What is going on here? Again, he's in the corporate world after being a full-fledged surgeon who everybody always died under his care. Next thing you know, he ends up a bigwig at a conglomerate, and now you want Chance? What is going on? Chance said it. I have no experience. Wait a minute. Can I just take off these earrings? Can I come work for Chancellor Winters too? I'm sure you'll find me a position higher than the mailroom. Oh, just a mess. Okay. And Nina's like, well, that's great. I thought about that too. That would be wonderful. Okay, so Chance is like, whoa, 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 whoa. I haven't made any sort of decisions yet, so we'll have to see. It only took like a commercial break for him to go, ding, 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 ding. Grandma, we need to have a conversation. So now he's going to end up working at Chancellor Winters. A suit and tie behind a desk? Oh, my Lanta, this is crazy. Okay, so that was that. Oh, I couldn't even get that one out. And I'm going to end up laughing again. I know it. I just know it. That was Chance. Again, it was a little back and forth, but whatever. Oh boy. Before we get to Nikki, because that is a whole set of nonsense. Let's talk about Tucker and Ashley, Jack and Diane and Kyle. Just the whole cacophony of them. All right, so Devon, he went to see Tucker, basically said, once again, he reiterated, you're a liar, I can't trust you, and just stay away from our company, just leave it alone, whatever tricks that you have up your sleeve, don't even bother, blah, blah, blah. And of course, Tucker's like, I don't know what you're talking about, whatever do you mean? And he's like, look, don't have time for this, I'm just letting you know, you burned a bridge. It is what it is. You're working along with Mamie, what have you. Which, side note, at some point in time, At the beginning of the week, Adam, when Adam was there with with Nate, and I guess Adam was getting ready to leave, Mamie had come in, and Nate was like, "Hi, Aunt Mamie," and Adam was like, "Mamie, it's nice to see you," and he toddles off, and while he's toddling off, she's like, "That's Miss M to you. That's Miss M to you." Okay, Mamie, again, you go. Okay, back to Tucker. Okay, so Devon leaves. I think he had run into Ashley, and Ashley was, "What's going on? What have you?" And he just was like, "Ugh, Tucker." Ashley goes over to Tucker. This is at the club. And she's like, "What's going on? I want to help." And he's like, "What for? Like, we're not friends." Yes, I don't want to be your friend. I don't want to be your friend. But we share a beautiful grandchild together. And as much as you're like a terrible husband, you know, what that lasted for, I'm going to give them 30 seconds. Yay! You're a terrible husband. You're a terrible Ray, but I will give you, you're a great grandfather. Yay, Tucker. So she's like, I basically, Ashley says to Tucker, "I want to help you with your relationship with Devon and basically try and mend fences." And "Why would you help me? Why?" Well, again, I think that, at the very least, this could happen, and he needs you and you need him, you know, one big happy family. And by the end of it, by the end of it all, Tucker's like, "Okay, fine, I'll agree to the help." This is after a whole set of, again, another sparring match between the two of them were going on. Oh boy. So, yes, Tucker has agreed to allow Ashley to help with whatever capacity. I don't know. So, let's go to, again, Jack, Diane, Kyle, Audra, whatever. At some point in time, Kyle sees Audra and basically says to Audra that he has a change of heart. He no longer wants to basically siphon Jabot away from his father, and it's not sitting well with him. Like, that was like changing your underwear quick. Like, what is going on? Okay, so again, my prediction, um, I don't know. I'm thinking that either Kyle is still up for it, but he wants to kind of do it his way, um, or he really did have a change of heart, um, but he's going to try and, I guess, pull the wool over Tucker's eyes. I don't know. Anyway, you slice the pie, I think it will go right back to Tucker. But that's just my prediction. So to me, it'll work either one of those two ways. Okay. So Audra basically tells Kyle, like, "You're a fraud." Side note, her dress was on point, wasn't it? Slit and all. Just saying. I liked it. Very good. Very nice. So she said, "You're a fraud. You're a fraud." And he's like, "Wait, what?" By the end of it, he's like, "Well, thank you, Audra, for showing me your true colors. And, I was like collateral damage and whatever." So he leaves. She's like, "Tucker, we need to talk." So Tucker basically, they get together, and he's like, Kyle's just doing exactly what I thought he was going to do. And I don't know why you, Audra, didn't see this coming. But like just on point, he's doing what I knew he would do. So you see this back and forth melee between um, Tucker and Audra and Kyle and Diane, because Kyle has now told Diane, Mom, I think you need to sit down. I need to tell you something. This is what I was about to do, but I changed my mind, blah, blah, blah. So it's this back and forth where they show Tucker and Audra basically telling the tale of what Kyle was going to do back to Kyle and Diane. Kyle's doing exactly what Tucker had just told Audra he was going to do. And it was a back and forth thing. And yeah, we'll see what happens where that's concerned. But basically, Diane told Kyle, at least you're honest. You said something. Don't tell your father. He doesn't need to know. He's well, that's lying. Wait a minute. Instant headache. Let me do some tapping here. Kyle, you were lying profusely to Summer. What? So now you have a conscience? Get out of town with that nonsense. But Diane has convinced him to not tell Jack. And basically, let's wrap this up. Kyle tells Jack that he had a change of heart and he's willing to accept the COO position. And he's like, well, what brought about this change? Well, I was speaking to Mom and she said this and blah, blah, blah. And I realized that, this was my birthright and I shouldn't feel bad. COO position is just as good. And yeah. He didn't even sound genuine with it. All right. So we're going to talk about briefly before we get into the last meat and potato of Nikki, because I want to save the best for last, was the fact that Devon is now hot on the trail to basically take down Tucker, and he has met with Jill and Lily. He's met with Nathaniel and Aunt Mamie, Miss M. And Devon's like, okay, Mamie, there's only one condition where we would think about bringing Nate back. Because they had their little conversation, because Nate had given his pitch throughout the week as to, him wanting to come back to Chancellor Winters, blah, 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 put the animosity behind them, whatnot. So we already went through that. So now they've called in Mamie and Nate again. So Devon's like, this is the only way, the only caveat in order for us to even think about bringing, Nate back. You have to tell us what Tucker is up to. And she's like, well, I dropped Tucker, the moment I learned of all of his indiscretions. And I will, I'll do anything because my whole thing was to have the family together again, all together. And she's like, I don't mind whatever I have to do to get the family together. I'm telling you, Mamie is acting like she a real like Don Juan. Okay, Mamie, you don't have to convince me. Just saying. We know you want Jill out. It is what it is. And the two of them, Oh boy, could I not picture another cake scene like how they had years ago with Jill and Catherine? With Jill and Mamie? Oh, I could see that coming. Ooh, a cat fight? Meow. Anyway, so we're gonna see where that whole thing is gonna go because Mamie, I feel like she will leave out some information as it pertains to herself, but she don't have no problems throwing Tucker under the bus. Okay, folks, the last thing we're going to talk about, because again, it was a funny week. A lot of stuff happened, and I'm sure I forgot a lot of things, but this was like the meat and potatoes. Okay, so Nikki and Claire, whatever her last name really is, she had convinced Nikki to go to wherever to meet her Aunt Jordan and, have tea. While she saunters off, Nikki, to go and see Casey, which I'd actually like to see Casey again. Bring her back on the show. Just saying. I liked Casey. I really did. Okay. So they have now reached wherever, and excuse me. Oh, it's so funny. Okay, so Nikki's like, "Oh, well, where's your aunt? Oh, she must be on, in the back, watching whatever." She's like, "Oh, okay." She's like, "Well, this, this is nice. This place is nice. All right." Um, Claire ends up giving her tea because there was a note that said, have a spot of tea. Oh boy. I don't know if I'm going to get through this. It was too hysterical. All right. So they have this tea where Claire clearly doesn't drink any of it. And Nikki's like, "Oh, what's in here? This is different tea." So, "Oh, I couldn't tell you. I don't know." "Oh, you you haven't had any." News, truth bomb, secret. I'm not a big tea drinker. Whatnot, whatnot. That's my aunt's thing. A woman after my own heart. Huh. Well, fast forward, Nikki is like, "I don't feel well." She basically almost collapses off her chair trying to put the cup of tea down, and it was like, "I don't feel good." It was almost instantaneous. Claire is now with this, like, first of all, her hair bothers me. This little part in the middle here, and it's kind of swept off in the. I have nothing against parts in the hair, but it makes her look just not good. Just not good. Okay. So she's standing over top of Nikki, just watching her like crumble to the ground. I'm thinking, wow, that's sinister. And Nikki's like, "What? What is going on? What? What? What is Claire? What?" And Claire is not saying a word. She's just standing there like, "Fall, fall, pass out." Okay, so basically, Nikki finds herself. She's eventually that she's in a room, and she's in this room lying on a bed all covered up, and Claire comes in. She's like wiping her brow, whatever, and she's like, "Well, I can't give you too much more of this because I need you to be, well, when whatever happens." Next thing you know, um, Nikki ends up waking up, she finds herself in this room, and she's like, Claire, bang, 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 bang on the door. What's going on? Claire is now drinking water or something, and she's hearing this, and she ain't saying a word. But this thing has like, it's so weird. It has a speaker inside where like if you want to talk to somebody, you press the button. Why is that in a bedroom? Why is that in a bedroom? I was so confused. Okay, so Nikki, fast forward, she is kind of like stammering over the place, trying to figure out where she is. She's looking for her phone. She realizes, she doesn't have her phone or purse, whatever. So she's looking for a way out. She's trying to, coach herself into saying, I gotta stay calm. I gotta get out of this situation, whatever. She goes to the window. She's like, can't go out there. That's a pretty far drop. She goes into the washroom that's there. Clearly there must not be any windows because she's like, damn it. So then she's like trying to get out the door. So then Claire was like, Nikki. And then Nikki's like, Claire, what's going on? What is going on? Why am I in here? What? She's like, there's food in cans and water. Don't worry, it's safe. You can have it. I was like, oh, okay. Clearly you did something to me, but now I'm gonna be like, I'll have some canned food like a dog. Get lost with that, Claire. What are you, crazy? So Nikki tries to get out the door, and she's doing the most, so much so that she finds something where now Nikki's a lock picker. But then she's trying to open the door, and the door's starting to squeak. Oh, so she's like, goes and grabs the bar of soap from the washroom, and she's like soaping the hinges. Like it's WD-40. She takes off her shoes. Like, what? And creeps down the stairs. Like, okay. So she eventually gets to the phone, but let's backtrack for a half a second here. She tries like 2 doors to get out of. She can't get out of it. You didn't turn the locks. Turn it. Open. She never... What? So she goes to the phone. Hello? Then Claire, with a syringe, comes and jabs her in the neck. And she falls down. Okay, so you're telling me that Claire, you've done this. She collapses. How much you think Nikki might weigh? I'm just gonna throw out a number here. Maybe 130-ish. Maybe 140. I don't know. Maybe 130. You were able to drag her up those fine steps to back to the room? Oh no. Okay, writers, no. Okay, so she drug her back up to the room. Unless Aunt Jordan was there to help her lift the legs as well. I don't know. We end up seeing who Aunt Jordan is, but... So now Claire is some sort of nurse to administer needles intravenously. So Nikki wakes up she's kind of crazy. She thinks she's seeing Victor, and Victor's like, "Oh, my baby," and he's going to pull out this intravenous, and you see it, the bag there, and I mean, I knew exactly what it was, but okay. She wakes up to find some crazy looking doll with like a blood dripping from its nose, and then she also wakes up to like a tray with a cover, a dome cover on it, and it's got alcohol. Okay, so Nikki pulls out the IV. Ow, ow, ow. She's got like a little blood, whatever. And eventually she was like, wait a minute. She puts two and two together. And then she takes a little, the cord, the, the, the plastic tubing, and she spritzes some in her in. Oh, oh my God. Oh my God. Vodka. Vodka. I believe so. So now she's a full-fledged alcoholic again. Honestly, what is going on? So then she goes under the covers and wraps up and what? Oh no! Oh no! Okay, so lastly, Claire is downstairs fixing her already coiffed hair in the mirror, and Aunt Jordan walks in. Don't get soft on me now, Claire. Aunt Jordan, like she looks like she's fearful of this Aunt Jordan, because I'm sure that's not her name, but whatever. And she's like, we've come so close. She's fixing her. We've come so close. Don't get soft on me now, Claire. And yeah, that's pretty much that. Um, I'm telling you, what a week. And I anticipate next week is going to be so, so funny as well. Anyway, if you have stuck around to the end of this video, I am so, so grateful. We had a lot to talk about. It was so funny. I hope you enjoyed this week as much as I did watching. So again, if you stuck around, I'm so grateful. I love you and I appreciate you taking the time out just to watch little old me talk about my most favorite show that I watch. And again, if you like this type of content, you like what you see, you like what you hear, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and hit the bell notification so that you don't miss a single video that I post here. And don't forget, share, share, share. Why? Because sharing is caring. At least I like to think so. So again, guys, you take care and I will see you on the next video. Bye.